where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video, but not just Bay 12. Also, we're reporting for Cool Toy Review today. Nick is with me over here. You probably know Nick from a lot of awesome CoolToyReview.com content, but today we're going to do a little bit of cross-promotion because, well, Bay 12 and Cool Toy Review have been on the same team for a minute now, but you might not have known that. But now you know. Anyway, I'm joined by B-Mac and Evan of the Transformers brand team at Hasbro. Guys, how's the convention so far?
It's great. It's been a long couple of days so far, but we're excited to be here.
It has. It's been awesome, actually. Like, all the fans coming up. There's a lot of positivity around Transformers, which gets us all excited. So,
there's a reason for that. When you have a brand like Transformers that has been going strong for 40 years as of next year,
yeah,
and you have a team who is deeply rooted in the fandom, as is my experience with you two gentlemen, and from the videos I've seen with Mark in interviews and such, you're going to have a great product for the fans and for collectors. I don't even care what it is. The second you guys announce something, I'm like, cool, I'm adding it to my pre-orders. Because,
that's great. Yeah.
one, I got to have it for my own personal collection, and then two, I got to have it for the Bay 12 YouTube channel because I've been reviewing basically everything y'all put out for the past few years and covering it with all of our other fast content that we do on Bay 12. So I had some awesome questions that I want to ask you guys today, probably questions I doubt y'all get often. And they're not going to be, hey, are you going to do this Megatron tomorrow? Because I already know the answer is, we can't talk about it. Okay. So we're going to ask questions you can talk about.
All right.
Okay, so the first question is, what is it like as a fan to update older Transformer characters in Legacy?
I'm going to let Evan answer this one first, because I just get to market it, so he has to actually design and do fun things with characters and update them.
Yeah, but we also run everything past you.
No.
Yeah. It's an intense privilege to do something like that. It also comes with a level of anxiety to make sure it's like, I have to get this right. Because I know every character is somebody's favorite character, and I know Mark as well just sweats and has sleepless nights over the details, and he's like, I have to get this right. And I think, but we're also fueled by the passion that the fans have for these characters, so we want to make sure that we're doing it right. It's exciting, it's tiring, exhausting, but also just kind of crazy cool. It's a tempest of emotions. I guess that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, for me, it's just like making sure when these guys present me the ideas, which are always great, just like making sure it's cohesive. Like we've talked about this before, like form factors, right? Like Insecticons versus vehicle versus motorcycle versus jet. Like we know jets are kind of the slower terms of popularity in Transformers, which is interesting because as powerful as the Seekers are. But like just making sure we have that mix, male, female, whatever we have going on. Our new build system for the year, good representation. Like how is that going to interact with everything we're doing? But they always bring me home runs, so my job's easy.
Speaking of jets and females, and I know I prefaced this with, I'm not going to ask questions about figures you can't, put out tomorrow, but I will just leave it as a statement. We need Slipstream. It is arguably a crime. We haven't had a good modern Slipstream yet. And personally, out of the original trio, my favorite is Skywarp. But my number one favorite Seeker is Slipstream. She is so cool.
So you're a big animated fan, then I take it?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Absolutely. But just in general, I mean, even her other incarnations since animated have been very cool. Yeah. She got an awesome spotlight in Cyberverse, and we got a couple of decent figures for that. Yeah. But
you want a legacy figure?
I want a legacy figure.
I completely
so
understand.
bad. I want a legacy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be animated universe in G1 verse. Just be a repaint.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, back to the questions.
It's all good.
If you could revive and fully update any Transformers line, which one would it be?
So go to him first.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think. What would be the best line to revive?
For you.
For me.
This is you personally.
I'd probably be interested in Prime because I didn't buy toys then, but I did watch the show. So I know there's a lot of just really fun form factors. Like I really liked the writing. I thought it was very sophisticated.
Yeah.
Like Hub Network was awesome. I got hooked in because of the new G.I. Joe Renegade show. So like that's what got me back to watching. And I was like, oh, there's a new Transformers series too. So watch this. So like I think having all of those, because I kind of like think that Megatron is the most maniacal Megatron of like any entertainment lore. Like he's the most sadistic by far, which is why I love him. So I think that toy line would be great. Like we got to do a couple right with Pulse right before I started. We had the Megatron and the RC that got reissued, so that was awesome. But I think there's a lot of stuff in that toy line that people would like to see again.
I totally agree, and I'm very thankful that you guys did do those reissues, especially for the Air Viacon that was never before released stateside. There are so many figures, and I'm glad that it's shifted to Takara and Hasbro releasing together at once.
I think that's brought us together a little bit more as well.
Yeah, and the fans have definitely responded to it, because that used to be a big complaint years ago, especially during Combiner Wars through Power of the Primes. There were a lot of really awesome figures that we really hope you guys reissue at some point in the future that just never got issued stateside. And as a fellow Master Force fan, because Master Force is my favorite of the trilogy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get why people like Victory more, but personally, Master Force was better. I think Master Force was better.
Yeah.
But I would love a Genrai. A stateside Genrai. I mean, I got the
bomber, and then I completely understand.
I mean, I sprung for the Takara one, but it would be nice to get a here release.
I completely understand that.
Yeah.
But it's in God. So when you asked me this question, I immediately thought Machine Wars, just because going back to like as a kid finding those in KB toys, and I know Mark and I have talked about Machine Wars constantly to the point where he's sick of it. I would think that's what I would pick for all this.
I was thinking recently, just to myself, that Machine Wars was probably going to be coming up for you guys next, because y'all have gone through Beast Wars recently. Y'all have done a little bit of RID. You haven't really touched Beast Machines yet, which I get it, but Beast Machines is
tricky.
It is tricky, and I can get why it's divisive. I still like it, but I figured there would be some Machine Wars leaking in somewhere here and there, because there's definitely some existing molds that I could see fitting into the Machine Wars lineup.
Yeah.
And that could also lead to other figures, like if you do a Machine Wars Optimus, for example, that
Thunder Clash, which
Exactly.
everybody screams at us about. So
everybody wants a Thunder Clash.
I completely understand. So I mean, nothing confirmed. Hopefully
Obviously.
in the future. Like,
Right.
it would be something that we would love to do, I think.
They bring it up all the time. So like literally every year when we start talking about what can we do in the future, Machine Wars is always like, Mark's like, I have a presentation to show you.
Yeah.
And he's like, these are Machine Wars. It's like always like slide 1A every year. So
And then you're just like, Mark, stop bringing up Machine Wars.
I
Stop
actually
trying
really-
to make Machine
I
Wars
really
happen.
I really love it, but there's a lot we have to look at.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always a balance. So
Of course. Okay, so next question is, do you have plans to make more collected targeted figures for series like Cyberverse and Earthspark in the future? Because right now, the figures for Cyberverse and Earthspark are very younger audience targeted, but there's a lot of collectors, myself included, who are completionists, and I have to collect every character from every series, every comic. I gotta have it. And the scaling drives me bonkers when I've got a tiny one-step changer Soundwave next to my larger Optimus Prime, and they're supposed to be practically shoulder to shoulder, you know?
Yeah.
So is that something that's at least in the headspace?
it's an entertainment that could possibly see future in studio series, but we're not going to confirm anything there. They're like, if there is a desire for something like that and the fans are very vocal about it, it's something that we can look at, I think. But I don't think we'd ever bring back Cyberverse by itself, though.
Yeah, I don't know that Cyberverse would make a comeback. Cyberverse toys, like, clearly could also potentially live in legacy if they wanted to. Like, we
That's
are
true.
tapping into multiple entertainments. So there's a good potential chance for anything to be possible. Like, we're always looking.
Okay. Which Transformers video game are you looking forward to working on the most for the new Gamer Studio Series line?
like a video game that would be incorporated into that? Like, what do you mean? Like,
Well, so y'all just launched the Gamerverse line, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Gamer Edition line for
Yeah,
Studio
with
Series.
the War for Cybertron stuff.
Right, but there's plenty of other Transformers video games from across the years
it's
that
true.
you could definitely pull from.
I mean, we could go back to Mystery of Convoy if you want as well.
Exactly.
Now that we just revealed Ultra Magnus, we can do dot deco on him to make him look like pixel art or something.
That's actually a good idea, though.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
so.
that's actually.
Otherwise,
really good
probably Transformers Devastation.
I think
would,
Devastation would probably be the most popular, easy
Yeah.
get right now,
I
right?
think so as well.
I mean, there only exists a mold for every single Decepticon trooper in the most recent War for Cybertron and Legacy line right this second. That it would just be a repaint. I mean, even the accessories they use in the game, you've already done in the past 5 years. So don't let me tell you, but you've already done the work. Final question is, if you got to choose which G.I. Joe vehicle that would be added to the crossover next, which vehicle would it be?
So Corey Cantaloupe is one of my dear friends, and so like he's a huge G.I. Joe fan. And I just remember being in college, and he's like, "Have you ever seen the Thunder Machine commercial?" And I was like, "No, I don't think I have." And he played it for me, and that song always gets stuck in my head whenever G.I. Joe comes up. So I always think of like, that would make a good Optimus Prime, I think. Thunder Machine Optimus Prime. No, Rolling Thunder. I'm sorry, I completely messed up
I was
that
like,
name.
Thunder Machine we just made.
I'm sorry,
I got it.
that's
We're
why.
standing on the Transformers side, not the
Yeah.
Joe side. It's okay.
Rolling Thunder. My bad. Yeah.
I always think like I loved my bridge layer as a kid. I just thought the play pattern of that was really awesome. I don't know who I would turn it into. It's just a toy I want to recreate for O-ring characters. Obviously, Killer Whale is something that I would love to turn into somebody, do something with. You know, Triple T, Sarge would be a super fun thing to do. There's a lot of different things that, you know, I would like to look into across the board. Wolverine with a cover girl. Like, you know, there's so many ways to go about it. A Sky Raven that becomes Starscream. Like, you know, things that I wish I could do. But, you know, if I make a Sky Raven that converts, it's going to be a HasLab because
He's
it's
your
going to
guy
have
for
to be.
this.
So
Yeah, the G.I. Joe collabs only happen to be pretty much because of BMAC. So,
I mean, I'm just saying, even if you make it a HasLab, so far Transformers and G.I. Joe are sitting real pretty with HasLab with a really good track
we're
record.
3
So,
for 3.
we are
So,
3 for 3.
Yeah, we're hoping to continue that number when we don't want to break our streak.
well, I'll continue to support it as long as y'all continue to do it. So,
Appreciate it.
gentlemen, thank you so much. I know we're running low on time right now. We appreciate all the time you guys had for us, as well as answering our fun questions. I hope that my questions were fun for you guys
They
as
were
well.
absolutely fun. Yeah, thank you.
Well, guys, stay tuned for more awesome SDCC content. Like and subscribe. If you haven't checked out some of our other Transformers reviews, make sure you do that. Like and subscribe to Bay12 here on YouTube. But also, make sure you go to cooltoyreview.com for daily news and toy content like this. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.